My darling little ghouls. Welcome to the Celluloid Crypt, episode 1. I'm so excited to have you all here. My name is Helena Handbasket, aka Kato. And this is a place where I bring my hot friends on to talk to me about their favorite horror movies. That's it. That's the whole premise. I'm really glad you're here. Tonight, I get to discuss the film Hereditary, as directed by Ari Aster, with one of my dearest friends. You know her. You love her. She's the creepiest little creep on the internet. It's DarlingCreepshow. Hi, buddy.
Hi, buddy. Hello.
Oh my goodness. Okay.
Just your resident creep.
This little resident creep, this little creepiest little creep on the internet right here. Music tonight is both by Carl Casey and Tim over at tabletopaudio.com. Links are in chat to check them out. They do excellent work, so please do check them out. If you would like to ask us a question at any point, just type !question in the chat, followed by a space with your question, so it gets highlighted. If you see it in the chat, it gets highlighted by little bats. That's pretty cool. We like bats here. And a huge thank you, as always, to our lovely mods. I don't even know if they're in chat tonight, but Raven and Varl, who are always holding down the fort here at Folk&Myth, and to Sweet Bleak for producing this little show tonight. I'm just looking forward to it all. We will probably be fielding questions and taking them at the end, but if you have a burning question and you want to ask it, I have a back channel chat that I'm being fed questions by my producer, so feel free to do that then. Otherwise, Creep, are you ready to dive in about this most favorite film of yours?
I'm very excited. I'm so excited to talk about this fucking movie.
I'm going to start us off by asking you, why do you love this film so much? What draws you to it? What makes you curious about it?
I love this film because of a lot of fucking elements. Honestly, I'm going to start off with saying something that I've been saying since the first time I've seen this movie. I do think that Hereditary is the greatest modern horror film ever made. Ooh. Like, I hard stance on that too. I'll die on that fucking hill so hard. From the soundtrack to the shots in the film, to how beautiful it is, the fact that it marries some of my favorite genres ever. You get possession, you get occult, you get like paranormal ghost stuff, and all of it. It's and layers, so many layers. This movie is like a fucking onion, man. Like, there's just so many little layers inside of it, and Easter eggs, little things to find. Every time I watch this film, I find something new in it, and that's super, super exciting to me.
Yes, 100%. When I was doing the rewatch for this, I was like, oh my God, I didn't catch that the first time around, the 6th time around, the 12th time around that I've seen this film. What are your thoughts? I mean, Aster's a fairly young director, and I just wanted to know what your thoughts are on him as a director specifically for this film, but also your thoughts and feelings on Aster's other films. Midsommar. I don't know if you had seen. I'm gonna call it Farmington because that's New Mexico. It's not Eddington.
Okay, I haven't seen Eddington yet.
Yes, I'm not either. I've heard.
I'm a little sad that he deviated from horror because horror is so good, and I have mixed emotions on Ari Aster.
Okay.
Hereditary, clearly I love that film. Midsommar, another fabulous film. I absolutely love that movie. It's another, there's so many layers, so many things. I watch that film, I find something new every time I watch it. Beau is Afraid is where he lost me. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I did not like that movie. I know that he had a lot of, he made Hereditary and he made Midsommar, and the studios were like, oh my God, we love you, do whatever you want, buddy, here's some money. And then he did that thing where he got really high on his own farts and made a movie that kind of sucked.
Yeah, I just would love for him to go back to the horror genre, because yeah, I think Beau is Afraid, in my opinion, could still be classified as a horror. Mm-hmm. It's definitely a horrifying film. I don't think I've ever felt so much anxiety in a movie in my entire life. Yeah. Just 3 hours of unwanted anxiety, which I get is the point of that film, but
a little too long. There was a lot of fat to be trimmed there, and that's a big problem I have with a lot of modern horror directors, is they don't know when to trim some of the fat off of their films, and they end up making these like 2.5, 3-hour long movies that's just a lot of fluff, and I don't like fluff. Don't give me bullshit. Like, let's get to it. Let's get in it.
Yeah, I mean, I have this. I love the genre, obviously, but I do find that horror folks in general have a really big problem killing their darlings insofar as like concepts and ideas, and that usually becomes the biggest problem with a horror film. But we don't see that problem here in Hereditary. So let's chat a little bit further about Hereditary.
Tragedy. Give me tragedy.
What do you think? What is the scariest moment to you in the whole film?
I don't know if I have a scariest moment. It's so rare that I feel actual fear in watching a horror movie, but I can tell you my most harrowing moment in that film.
Excellent work.
And for me, that is when we get Toni Collette, Annie, in the room crying after Charlie dies. That, I have never felt such emotion from an actress before. I know what that feels like. Not that specific thing that she went through, but to cry like that. What that fucking feels like. And that was just, I sobbed like a baby the first time I saw that, because I felt like I could relive that in my own sense watching that, and that was absolutely harrowing. And she just got crushing.
I fully, wholeheartedly, 100% agree with you on that. I have felt that grief. I have sat in that grief, and I feel like Toni Collette, like she's always so invested in every role she plays, and I feel like this was people say it all the time about stuff, but I'll use it, like, it is a masterclass. She is the heart and soul of the film, and I do not think that it could have been carried as well as it is were it not for her in that role. No, she is phenomenal. I absolutely love her, and just the way she can convey such emotion and make that scene make you feel seen while you're watching it is fucking intense. Yeah. And just that cry lives rent free in my fucking head. Like rent free. I can recall that at any moment. Oh yeah. It is a retinal imprint, flashbulb memory on me. What's your favorite moment in the film? Would you classify that as one of them, or just
that is definitely a favorite, because it's I like art when art makes me feel things, and is moving, and that is a very powerful scene in that film. And then one of my other favorite moments is her in the rafters sawing her own head off. Like, Jesus Christ. just dead-faced. She's doing the... And then it starts getting faster, and you get all those sounds. It's so brutal. And I love, like, just at the last moment before you get that, like, really brutal decapitation scene, you know, Peter falls out the window, he jumps out the window, and then you hear it in the background, the thunk roll. And I'm like, oh, that just enough left to the imagination. And I love that. I love that he knows when to quit and do that. And that's really important.
Yeah, that is such an essential part of storytelling in general, but especially in horror. I think it's this idea that our imaginations are a lot scarier. We can come up with something that is a lot more graphic than what we actually see. And I feel like the use of shadow and lighting, which we'll talk a little bit further in further detail in a second here, but the usage of shadow in particular in this, where, like, upon this recent rewatch for this chat, there were moments where I saw people in the background or in shadows that I had not seen on watch-throughs before. And those moments were so horrifying, because it's not the pile of clothes on the chair, on the cuck chair in the corner.
What's Peter doing with that cuck chair? Yeah. Relax, Peter. You're a teenager. Calm down.
On your first watch through, did you know right away that it was a cult?
I would say that man, now I have to recall rewatching this or watching this the first time. I noticed things going on, but I think it took a little bit for it to all kind of piece together as I watched it. I definitely noticed like her and her mother wearing the same necklace in that first scene of the funeral. And that was like and I'm also kind of an occult nerd, and I have a little bit of knowledge in the Goetia, so I was like, that's an interesting symbol. Where are we going with this? But yeah, I think it took a little bit of time going in until I really latched on to like, oh, ew.
Oh no, it's a social club. That's right.
Yes.
We have been touching on it since the beginning because she is, as I said, the heart and soul of this film. But talk to me about Toni Collette's performance on the whole, please. I really want to know your thoughts on this.
She's amazing. So one thing that I really love about Ari Aster in general with this film and with Midsummer is I like that he casts people that look like fucking people.
Yeah.
And Toni Collette, while she's very beautiful, obviously, she looks like a fucking real person, which is really nice. And she looks like the age of a mom of a fucking teenager, which is also really nice. So like that straight out the gate is really great to have in a movie. And then her performance is amazing. She's so fucking talented. She's so expressive. And she's not afraid to be ugly, which I love.
Yeah.
I love when an actor is not afraid to be fucking ugly, man. Like the faces she makes, specifically in the scene where she's with the group therapy, and she's talking about her family history and the death and how it's affecting her, and like the horrendous faces she's making while she's saying all these things is like, that's fucking dedication. I love that.
I was also thinking of the dinner table scene when she gets up and yells, "I am your mother" at him, and that just she's almost got this mask on. Like, it is so visceral, and
she's really good with the transitions in places too. Like when she does the seance with the family and she becomes Charlie for a minute, that transition, the candle flames and then dies, and then you see her kind of get new life like breathed into her, and then the candle flame pops back up. That moment is so great, and there's a couple of those moments in there where she kind of transitions out of being Annie to being this entity. And I don't know, did you ever watch what is it, the United States of Terra that she did, the television show?
No, I missed it, but so many people have recommended it to me.
It's really good. So she has experience with DID characters before, because that United States of Terra is her playing a woman who has DID and has multiple personalities, and that's the first thing I ever saw Toni Collette in, and was instantly like, this bitch can fucking act. Like the way that she can transition between the identities inside of her in that show. When I watched Hereditary and they were, they gave the whole thing of like her mother had DID. I was like, oh shit, here we go. Toni Collette, DID round 2. I'm into this.
Yes. I was also thinking about when you talked about because she has a couple moments in the film where she transitions from being Annie to being someone or something else. But the one where she's freaking out about Steve having been lit ablaze, and she's sobbing and crying and freaking out, and it passes over her and her face goes completely placid, and it's like one of the most chilling acting moments I have ever seen in my life, because like the ability for her to just drop it,
she just goes to sleep,
she just is out.
It's so good.
Oh,
it's so believable.
it's so believable. Oh my God, this whole conversation could just be about Tony Collette's performance.
Yeah, honestly.
You mentioned it before. It's got everything we love in horror. It's got possession, the occult, ghost stories. What subgenre would you categorize this film in? Does it define
Fuck.
a subgenre?
Multiple.
Yeah.
Do I get an A, B, C, D, all of the above? Like psychological for sure, occult, paranormal. It's all there. Possession. You get a little bit of everything in this film, and I think one thing that I really, really love about this film is tying mental illness into the paranormal and the occult. Yeah. That is something that I have dwelled on in thought in the past. I don't know if you've ever read Sybil before. It's one of it's a book about DID. The main woman in it has DID. There's a lot of controversy about the book on whether Sybil is telling the truth or not, because there's a lot of controversy around DID itself. For people watching, if you don't know what DID is, it's dissociative identity disorder. I have like an autistic interest in this. I can go down DID rabbit holes all day. I think it's very interesting. It's something that essentially it's the splitting of one personality into multiples because of trauma and having the need to compartmentalize that trauma and kind of preserve the main identity from that trauma. And I love that you have the exploration of that and schizophrenia in this film, and tying them to like strange paranormal and occult things of like, they say she in the group therapy session, she's talking about how her mother was diagnosed with DID, and then you kind of see her idea of DID later on in the film is she's a medium. Okay. And she can conjure, she can bring Charlie into her essentially. So you get this weird tie of like, medium or is she DID or what's going on here? And then she also talks about her brother having schizophrenia and saying that her mom was putting people into him, trying to put people into him. And then you have that juxtaposition with Peter, who is seeing things. He's starting to see the ghosts after Charlie dies. He's hallucinating in the mirror in the classroom of himself, like smiling ominously and just like hearing sounds. So you get like all those classic symptoms that would add up to schizophrenia being explained as something paranormal, which is just kind of, it's interesting. I like the exploration of that in the film.
I find it super fascinating. And one of my questions for you was, do you think that Annie could be schizophrenic or have DID? Or do you think this was the workings of the cult the whole time?
I think in the realm of the movie, she's definitely, it's more tied into her family and her bloodline, hereditary. Her mother had DID, hereditary. But if you're paying attention to like the nuances, her mother was a medium. Right. And then she discovers that she's a medium and she can summon these entities into her to speak through her. So I think it was more into the paranormal realm. And I think that, DID was a nice way to explain it away in the medical sense, to make it something normal and something tangible that can be fixed, because that's what people want to do. That's what people like Steve, the dad, want to do. You have Steve, who is just this very like stone-faced, he feels so heartless through the movie, but I really actually don't think Steve is that heartless. I think Steve is trying to be the anchor on a stormy shore, and he's also he's a psychiatrist. So he's trying to explain everything. He's trying to explain the unexplainable. So Steve would say, she's got DID. Clearly, she's losing it.
Right.
Let's medicate her.
Right. Or let's explain this away, or let's, whatever it ends up being. And there's that moment right before when Annie is begging him to burn the sketch pad, when she is begging and begging and saying, I can't do it. You need to do it for me. And he has almost a longer beat than one would anticipate for someone making a decision like this. But when he just lets that moment stretch on and he takes the sketchbook, you think for a split second she might be saved because he might believe her. And he does not. And he doesn't throw it in the fire. And that ends up sealing his fate.
Crushing. So crushing. But I love that we had that character. We needed
him.
We needed that character.
Yes.
I can't hate Steve.
No.
I like that we had that dose of logic inside of there, because it definitely you need that to make the horror of the paranormal that much scarier.
Yes. You need, and I think he acted kind of in a trope-like way of like the voice of reason, which we see in so much horror, but it ends up being like, well, you're just being a big dumb idiot, and it's dismissive, and then that person ends up getting killed, and like that's the end of the story. But we do see a very human struggle in Steve of like loving this woman, wanting to hold shit together, the family being fine, and then this horrible tragedy of Charlie's death striking the family. And it's like, what do you do when not only have you had a loss that egregiously awful, but in such an egregiously awful way? And he just has to keep it together. It's
rough.
Fascinating.
Yeah. Fucking rough.
Rough. In this kind of same occult / psychological way, do you believe there's some sort of psychic connection between Charlie and the grandmother, beyond kind of like the grandmother wanting to utilize Charlie for her nefarious deeds? But like, do you think there's some sort of mental psychic connection between the two of them?
I don't.
Cool.
I don't. I think, as I don't even think Charlie is Charlie the whole movie. I don't think we ever actually meet Charlie. I think Charlie is Payman the whole time. So I think it's more of a devotee demonic relationship.
Got a little Papa Demon vibe.
Oh, Daddy Demon and Daddy Granny.
Demon. Oh, God. Oh, it's just, I was roll fucked up. I'm rearranging some of the question orders here while I'm looking at stuff. I want to talk about Charlie. Sweet, sweet Charlie. Do you think that the family actually loved Charlie?
I do in the sense of family obligation to love your blood. But I think that the love is far more complicated than that. I think with Annie, it's a covetous love, because she kind of gave Charlie to her mother. She says that in the movie. I gave my daughter to my mother. And then her mother put all of her focus into Charlie and loved Charlie to an odd degree. We get the booby scene. We get the miniature booby scene where we know that grandma was breastfeeding baby Charlie, and that's not unsettling at all. And so I think that maybe there is this strange, and then, grandma dies and Charlie is like fucking devastated, and we get the scene in the bed with Annie where she said, who's gonna take care of me now? And Annie's like, what the fuck are you talking about? I'm your goddamn mom, basically. So I think it's this like jealous love from Annie, that she's never gonna have that connection with her daughter that her mother had.
Right.
And so then from that's a horrible horrible way to love somebody, because it's never true love. And then you have Peter, who I think by obligation loves his sister, but it's like a disconnected kind of love. He grew up differently than her. She was a coddled baby by grandma. She probably had a lot of focus on her from mom because of that, because of the jealousy and the weirdness. And so yes, I think they love her. I just think they all love her in their own different, very complicated ways. And then you have Steve. And I think Steve loved his daughter. But I think that Steve, I feel like Steve is, by this point of Charlie's death, is so disconnected and trying so hard to keep it together for the rest of the family that like he's compartmentalized feelings to a degree that maybe he doesn't feel as much anymore because of that.
Mm-hmm.
He's just kind of squashed that capability in himself.
Yeah. Yes, because I think the only time that we really see that grief seep through is when he stops at the stoplight. It's just him, and we see the side shot and he just loses it behind the steering wheel, and it's so brief.
Mm-hmm.
And so, you know, we see him with this like very exhausted kind of tolerating of everything that's happening up until he discovers what's in the attic.
Yikes.
Yeah, I mean, it's just so interesting. It's also so interesting when you say this like kind of covetous or this jealous love that Annie has for Charlie, especially then with what we were talking about at the very beginning of that grief scene, that harrowing grief scene of her keening and screaming, and you know, she's 100% bereft. It is almost like Grecian level tragedy mourning kind of happening, which I found so interesting based off of how she treats Charlie throughout the film.
Yeah. And it is kind of cool because the film is a little bit of a study in grief too. Mm-hmm. If you think about it, you get to see different types of grief from the family. You see Toni Collette's very outward grief of crying and just fucking losing it. You see the empty grief of Peter, where he's becoming numb from grief. And then you see Steve's grief, which is anger, quiet, seething anger. That quiet grief that builds in anger, which is always the scariest grief, in my opinion.
Yeah, yes, and I think it shows just the complexity of what it's like to grieve at that level. And I was also thinking about, not only is Annie's grief so outward and so full of tears, but it's also erratic and desperate. When she just kind of cannot find an outlet to turn to, and when she destroys her workshop, when she, you know, she suddenly goes on the frenzy of building all of these things and building the crime, you know, the accident scene, and building, you know, going to these, like doing something normal, like going to a grief group, which then turns into, actually, we're going to do a seance with this woman I barely know. And just like all of the weird shit you do. Like for me personally, when my mom died, like I went to 17 different cities and I got an equivalent number of tattoos in the same year, because it was just like, you lose your mind when something unfathomable happens. And I think that I think Astor really captured that in here about how unfathomable it is to process these things.
100%. I love that you bring up her making the mini of the accident scene. I love that moment in the movie when Steve comes in and he like looks at it and he looks at her and he just goes, "Really?" Like, and she's just
they're so antagonistic at each other in that scene when he's like, are you fucking serious? And she's like, what? It's an objective view of the accident. And he's like, like, it's just fascinating.
So good.
Oh my God. Okay, so we're gonna jump around a little bit in terms of the questions I have, because you brought up the miniatures, and I want to talk to you about this because you are our resident creep on Twitch who is a little guy painting little guys, as we all know. What do you think about this choice to make Annie a miniature artist?
I love it. It is absolute brilliant fucking storytelling on Ari Aster's part. Like, it is so fucking clever because she only builds miniatures based off her own experiences. Every miniature that she is working on that you see is something from a point in her life. So with that, you get to see all these little vignettes of the past that otherwise would have had to been done through flashbacks. And there were no flashback moments in this film, and I loved that. I loved that he found really intriguing ways to make a flashback in a film. So you get to see fucking grandma's titty going to feed baby Charlie. You get to see, I think one of the creepiest ones was grandma standing in the doorway while her and her husband are sleeping in bed.
Yep.
And then you get to see like really weird benign things, like she does the art studio, the art gallery with the miniatures in the miniatures, which I was like, this fucking bitch. Just all these little moments, but you would have never gotten that otherwise unless he would have done flashback moments. And I think that was just such a clever way to give more context to a character that we never even met because she was dead when the movie started. That was really fucking cool. Snaps to fucking Aster because that was brilliant.
I also, on that train of thought, I think it's brilliant that it is this featured model here on this image here is their house. It is their home, and the crux of everything that culminates is this house and the treehouse at the end, and how personal that is. So we get, you know, dollhouses are creepy, but it's this idea of the liminal space of like, this home is full of tragedy and this home will never not be full of tragedy.
It's so good. It's so cool. It just, what an amazing plot device.
Thank you all so much for your questions. Keep them rolling in. I'm getting a list of them on my back channel. We're going to ask some of them a little bit later when we open things up to the audience. But please keep rolling them in because we're keeping track of them on our end over here. So I think this is probably a good segue for one of the questions I'm very, very eager to talk about. In this image here, I think is a great example. Ari Aster's use of color and use of shapes. Specifically, that man loves a triangle. The boy loves a triangle.
He really does.
He really does. What do you think about this? What do you think? Talk to me about the color palette. Talk to me about the use of shapes.
So I am obsessed with this color palette. I am obsessed with these sets, very specifically the house. A lot of the paranormal themes in this movie harken back to Victorian spiritualism with seances, and then you get like even older with demonology and the occult and magic, very specifically the Goetia, which is really fucking cool. That's where payment comes from. And I think that these colors and all of these things harken to those things. He does a really good job of tying it all in a nice little pretty bow. When I think of, you know, occult magic and alchemy and alchemists were some of the first occult magicians, I think of that green and that yellow color that you see running through this film. And then when I think and also the shapes are very much so all of that alchemical symbols and things like that are carried over into, early occult magic. And then the Victorian spiritualism comes in with all those really beautiful, rich woods. This house is just like a Victorian fucking jerk fest. I'd be in there jorking my peanuts all day, man. All that crown molding, all that fucking antique furniture, like holy shit, the stained glass built in, like all of that stuff is giving like big Victorian spiritualism vibes for me through this whole film, and I fucking love that. I love that so much. So I feel like he really just kind of just tied in all these themes that are floating around into his aesthetic, and it was super clever of him to do that, and the way that he did that with the color palettes and symbology.
I didn't even think of the idea of it being the Victorian spiritualism. Like, that is such a deep cut and so accurate. And as well as you were talking about this green, that idea of the magic and the alchemy and the demonic summonings of that time period, but also the idea of like Paris green and the use of arsenic and poison, and like, is this house just full of poison?
Yeah, for sure.
I just thought about that. That's amazing. And I was also, while we were talking about it, thinking about the treehouse and how the treehouse is this like central thing. And the only real instance that we see of that vibrant vermilion red are the windows when the heater is on. And to me, it just screams like, this is your portal to hell.
Yeah, that's where Payman stays.
It's
that's where Payman lives, because it's fucking, that it's pandemonium. So okay, all right, let's deep dive some little occult things real quick, and then we're gonna get into that treehouse. The 3 words written on the walls for the beds: you get Saturnine, you get Zazus, and you get I'm gonna butcher it. What is it? Lock, I believe. Pandemonium. Fuck, that's gonna drive me crazy.
Bleak,
look up the last word.
Bleak in the back channel, just so everybody knows, Bleak is doing an incredible job holding down the fort as producer and mod right now.
So you get Saturnine is on Charlie's bed, on the wall behind Charlie's bed. Saturnine is, I believe, originated like Necronomicon. And it is basically the Liftwalk. Thank you, Jenga. You're the best. I'm probably pronouncing it wrong, but whatever. So Saturnine is that's necromancy. That is the calling of spirits. And we know from the film that Charlie is essentially Payman, right? And then we get Zazus on Peter's bed. Zazus comes from Aleister Crowley, and Zazus is something that comes up a lot in his summoning rituals and his summoning magic. And then you get Liftwalk Pandemonium, and Liftwalk comes from Milton's Paradise Lost. It is a word that he created in that epic poem, and it basically means unlock, and pandemonium is where Lucifer stays with all of his demons. So it is the unlocking of pandemonium, which is really fucking cool, and that is on Annie and Steve's bed. And we kind of know that Annie is kind of running the show here on unlocking all of these things with her children and her mother and her bloodline and all these things that are going on. And then you get to the treehouse that is this fucking beautiful vermilion red, as you said, and it's held up by birch, which I love birch. Birch is my favorite tree. I am obsessed with birch. The birch is the eye of the forest. If you've been out into a forest of birch, you see that the knots on the tree look like eyes, which is really cool. Also, birch stands for resilience and adaptability. It is an extremely resilient tree, and it grows all the fuck over the place in a lot of different forms. So very fucking cool. And I view the treehouse as pandemonium. as this hell place, because it's where Charlie is always sleeping up there. Charlie, who we are all led to believe is fucking Payman until they're taken out. And then Charlie is taking over Annie's body a bit when she's figuring out that she's a medium, when she gets the words to read, which begin with Satiny, and that's the calling of the fucking spirits back. That whole thing that she's made, it's basically word salad, because it's they're all terms that have been cherry picked from these different places, which I thought was really fucking clever from him, and then kind of word saladed all together to actually mean something and create something meaningful. But then we get Annie's character going up and residing in the treehouse in Pandemonium as she's kind of taking over this placeholder until they jam poor Payman into poor Peter. Poor sweet Peter.
First of all, round of applause for this entire background explanation, because that was fucking great. And
I might be a nerd. I might be a big nerd on this movie.
No, but that's why I wanted to talk to you about it, because this is the stuff that I wanted to unpack and discuss, and I didn't want to take it to a fucking Reddit board. I don't care about reading some dude on the internet talking about his theory. I want to talk to my friend.
You want to talk to the trogs on Reddit?
Yeah, no thanks. Leak Season did link here to a bloody disgusting article about hidden clues in Hereditary. Folks over at Bloody Disgusting are fabulous. I'm friends with Tony Walsh, who just became, I think, their programming director. So check out Bloody Disgusting. Great rag. We love it. Lots of great horror. What is the word? Horror journals out there.
Horror journal. Blogs?
Journal. The horror things. Fuck. Thank you for this. So Charlie, we've talked about her a little bit. The moment where Charlie meets telephone pole is arguably one of the most horrifying moments in cinema history. What was your initial response to that moment?
Okay, so I saw this maybe twice in the theater. The first time I saw it, I think I went, holy shit, fuck yeah, in the theater, which garnered me maybe a few looks, but it was sweet. It was probably one of the best decapitation scenes I've ever seen in a movie, if I'm being totally honest. Yeah. Holy crap, what a great one. Damn, just that whole scene I really, really love, because he's leaving the party, he's throwing her in the car, they're driving. You get an interesting moment in the cinematography of this film that I feel like looks like,
hello,
the train's here,
the ghost train.
They're coming to take me away to the funny farm. They heard me talking about all that demonic shit.
The train comes to our house. Get ready, Scully Francis.
I'm coming. Where was I? So you get this really weird moment of cinematography in the film that you don't get anywhere else in the film. Yes. Of him in the car, and then you get the outside shots of the car, and it's this dusty, dirty. The footage feels very raw, especially when you get the shot going out the front windshield of the road. It feels it reminds me of very late 70s, early 80s shots.
Yep.
And I love that. And then Peter is clearly fucking panicking. Is this a panic out of love, or is this a panic out of, I'm gonna be fucking dead meat if my sister dies and I don't get her to the fucking hospital in time? And just the music during this scene, the buildup of that dread going on, it's so good. And then you get that final fucking payoff of the dead deer in the road, the swerve, and the fucking thunk.
thwap that resonates across the globe. I also really loved all of the shots that you described. I also really loved the shot from outside the car window facing down at the wheel of the car as it stops and you, the audience, are realizing what happened. And then there's that cut shot of we're seeing his face wanting to look into the rear view mirror. And as soon as he pans up and we're seeing his perspective, he goes there and we see something in the back seat, but we aren't sure what. And he glances right back forward. And it's like that moment, that is exactly what someone would do in that situation.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, God forbid anybody ever be in this situation. But like, I was thinking about it. I was like, yes, I would be too scared. I would be too afraid of what was back there.
And you get that harken back in the classroom when he looks up and you see it's right back to that rear view mirror, but it stays just a second longer that time. So you can get a little bit better of a glimpse that it is just an empty hood and a fucking bloody stump. And it's like, oh, it's
God, I have chills.
Beautiful. It's fucking chef's kiss.
It truly is. Oh my God. Speaking of, okay, so Charlie's death obviously is very, very tragic, but the moment leading up to it, aside from the fact that they needed this for a plot device to get Charlie to have this allergic reaction, this nut allergy, why the fuck are teenage girls baking a cake at a rager of a high school house party? Who the fuck is baking a cake in the middle of this open floor plan kitchen?
Hot take. All right. Clearly, by looking at the houses that we do get to see the inside of, these are privileged children. I think we can agree there, especially that house that they're having this party in. These are fucking privileged children. You also get that first shot going into seeing the cake being made of her chopping the walnuts to
like
add.
The way that girl is chopping the nuts, I'm like, she's gonna cut a finger off.
Yeah, because she's definitely not on coke or anything. Like,
all coked out making a cake. No.
Let's be realistic though. Like, these are super privileged children who we don't ever really get to see like town. You kind of briefly see it when Toni Collette goes in to go to the group meeting, but I get the vibe that like this is not a big city, but this is clearly some sort of affluent area. So my honest opinion of that is like these kids are doing fucking drugs, and they're doing nice drugs because they're all fucking rich assholes. So why not do a few lines of blow and make a cake at a party, because these parties probably happen all the time because your parents are probably gone all the time doing fuck all.
Yeah, they probably were like, sure, you can have all of your friends over from school. We don't care. Liquor cabinets.
Yeah, they don't even know what's happening. They're not present parents. I saw that house.
God, that part killed me. I was like, I know we need this as a plot device, but I fucking hate these girls so much.
Okay, so building on that being a plot device, can we just take a moment to talk about like the beautiful foreshadowing that happens in this fucking film, and the fucking amount of foreshadowing that happens in this fucking film? Like it's constantly smacking you in the face.
Yeah.
You get, the very beginning at the funeral, you get, she's little Charlie standing there staring at grandma in the coffin, eating a chocolate bar. I feel you, girl. Me too.
Mm-hmm.
And dad comes up. He's like, I got peanuts in it. And they're all like, family's like that. Oh, this is peanuts, nuts in that.
We don't have the EpiPen. We know how
we
to
don't have the
EpiPen.
EpiPen.
Boom.
Exactly. Yeah. And then you get that foreshadowing there. I think one of my favorite moments of foreshadowing in this film is in the classroom, early classroom scene. The teacher is talking about Sophocles and the story of Heracles.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And whether it is more or less tragic that his fate had been deemed for him.
Right.
and I fucking love, like, that moment in my head that lives rent free in my head. I know exactly the Sophocles story he's talking about. It's when he gets, he speaks to the oracle, and the oracle, I think, tells him that someone close to him is going to be the cause of his death, and ultimately his wife kills him. And living with the knowledge of this death, of this impending death, and knowing that these are the Greek fates. Your fate is sealed. It is spun from the day you were born, and there is a woman who cuts it at the end, and that was the belief of the fates. And I like that we got this like little moment in the classroom of discussing this, your fate cannot be changed, and you get a couple different opinions from the students on it too, while Peter's being an asshole and not paying attention at all. Maybe Peter should have paid attention. But just those fucking little moments in the movie is just another like piece of the pie of why this film is just untouchable in my mind in terms of modern horror. Like, Jesus Christ. Ari Aster, where'd you pull that from? Why?
Fun fact, he went to school in Santa Fe, New Mexico. I'm from Albuquerque, New Mexico. Unrelated. Completely unrelated.
Yes, I did wear my Directed by Lucio Fulci shirt for Tato today.
I'm delighted. I'm so happy. But to your point, I think what makes Aster and many filmmakers who are coming out, especially now, I'm thinking of the Jordan Peels, I'm thinking of Eggers, I'm thinking of many of the indie film directors who are coming out, is there's so much clear intention behind the subtle nuances, the subtle details that go into creating these stories, which I do think is why horror is one of my favorite genres, because there's not superfluous stuff in the really good films. There is not
fluff. There's no fucking fluff.
There's no fluff. It's all there for a reason. It's all something that we can get excited about and go back and dig through and go, oh shit, I didn't realize X, Y, and Z about it. And Aster is a prime example of someone who is capable of doing that as a storyteller.
I will say, I think Eggers is the current reigning king of it.
Yes.
Eggers is yet to make a bad film.
I would agree with you on that.
Which is insane. He's deep. He's fucking deep, man.
That,
Jesus Christ.
Excited. I can hear Bleak over here who's just like squirming in his chair because he's like so excited about Eggers. We'll talk about Eggers at another point.
Ari Aster, 2-pump chump, but the 2 pumps were great.
God, I loved it, and I went for a third. And anyway, so I have a number of other questions. We're kind of bouncing around a lot, but I don't really care.
Yeah, whatever.
I just have a note here, and you know what's coming up. It just says Joan. Discuss.
Oh, Joan. She was a plant. She was a plant the whole time. I loved it. She was clearly Nana's right-hand man.
Yep.
100% right-hand man material. Grandma died. Grandma had to die, I'm sure. Yep. We don't ever really get much on that.
Right.
But that's fine, because we get Joan. Yes. And I love Joan. And, obviously she is there to guide the family in the absence of Grandma. And she does so with grace. She's sly as fuck, man. She's always just showing up at the most convenient times, that Joan.
Yes. And the fact that Ann Dowd plays her so sincerely and so without malice, I think that Aster's eye or ability to write characters that you want to commit to and you want to believe in. We see it in Midsommar as well, with this weird pastoral place. Of course we're going to feel safe and comfortable here, but like those are ultimately the biggest and most terrifying characters in this whole thing, arguably. Yeah.
She's so delightfully unassuming until she's not anymore.
Correct.
He made her very placid and kind and
Supportive,
compassionate,
compassionate.
supportive.
Yeah.
And then you get that one moment where she's outside across from the school and she's yelling at Peter, and you're like, oh fuck, hold my beer. Hold
She's
Joan's
yelling
beer.
those words that are carved in the walls at their place.
Yep.
And you're like, when she first did it, I was like, the fuck is she yelling? Was it? First time I saw it, I was like, I have no idea what this bitch is doing. I don't even think she's speaking English. And then I was like, oh, she's not. Like,
No.
before I decided to go deep diving into this film and didn't take it at face value, you know.
Oh, so good. So here's my question to you, though.
One.
With Joan.
Yes.
Because, you know, we see she's obviously guiding. She's obviously there to make sure that shit stays on track. So what this group of people has been working for pays off and happens. And Toni Collette, you know, realizes her potential, and she gets the words, and she summons Charlie, and she does all these fucking things. Then we get the moment where we get the flip with Joan. Toni Collette goes back, and Annie goes back to her house to try to talk to her again. She's gone, but then we get that inside shot of her house.
The inside shot of her house. Bleak, could you pull that up for us? That table shot, daytime table shot. Which
we see Joan's altar.
Yep.
We see the end of the film.
Yep.
Right there. It's right there on the fucking altar.
Yep.
Crazy. I love that. So you know Joan is puppeteering at that point, you know she is puppet mastering this shit. But I also have to wonder, then we get the next scene of Joan, and she's outside of the school yelling at Peter to get out. She's yelling all of these things. Is Joan dead? Because nobody else fucking notices Joan. Nobody sees her. Nobody walking by her on the street notices her. I'm pretty sure if you're a grown-ass woman yelling fucking woo-woo crazy shit at kids
notice.
At recess, someone on the street's gonna notice. One of the other kids is gonna notice fucking crazy old mom across the street yelling at Peter.
And the only people that ever see her are Annie and Peter.
Well, so I don't think she is dead until after this scene of in her house, because you know there's a lot of killing going on. One thing with Payman is Payman commands 25 legions of the dead, technically by the Goetia. That is like actual real Payman lore that you can go read in the Goetia. He commands 25 legions of the undead. He is a king in hell. He is considered Lucifer's most loyal soldier in the war against heaven. Payman is a really interesting character. He knows the secrets of the mind and of the world and of sciences. So when you seek to summon Payman, and Ari Aster took a little bit of liberty with some things with Payman, which is fine because it made the movie more interesting, and I love that. When you summon Payman, when the magician, which is what they would call them in this book, when the magician summons Payman, it is to learn the secrets of science and the world. And Payman also can resurrect the dead.
Wow.
So I'm curious if at this point, when we see the inside of her house, we see this altar, we see all these things going on, if somewhere in there we don't see that Joan is dead in there too.
That is fascinating to think of.
Because at that point, we're also getting Peter seeing ghosts. Peter's losing it.
Yeah.
He's slipping.
Wow, that fucked my mind up. I mean, I guess that does make sense, because also, like, you can make I don't know if you can make an argument throughout, like, Steve never sees her. Only Annie and Peter ever see her. Mm-hmm. She's not ever That's a lie. I lied. I'm sorry. I was about to say that she was not ever in the grief group room. She was. She was in the grief group room. I lied. So yeah, this idea that she could have been dead, like, and that maybe that was like one of the last pieces to put it in place. It also brings me to an interesting question that I had about the grandmother's body that we discover in the attic, which is, again, another horrifying fucking part when we see the symbol painted on the wall in blood. The whole attic is full of flies. The head and hands of the grandmother are lopped off. We don't know where these things are. Do you think, let me pose this a different way. Who do you think did that?
That's a good question. I think that it's very possible that that is Joan as Nana's right hand man. I do definitely think that that is possibly Joan. But then you have to ask the question of, well, how the fuck did she get in the house and get into the attic?
Yep. But
I'm also trying to think of any point in time where these people lock their fucking door. Yeah. We see them coming home multiple times, and never once do you hear the sound of a key. So nope. Joan could have gotten into the house and done that when they were gone, and there were definitely times when these people were gone out of the house. But then we also have we know that when Annie's medium abilities are activated, when she calls Charlie the first time during her like private seance before she brings the rest of the family down to be like, look what I can do, we know that she loses time. That she doesn't know that she's actually like becoming this other thing, because she says very clearly like, oh, I've already done this to the family, look, this picture just appeared. No, bitch, you drew it when you were Charlie, when you called Charlie into your body. So I think there's a possibility there too that maybe there were moments of possession for Annie that were happening off camera that she could have gone and done that.
I mean, Steve even accuses her of doing it.
Yeah, 100%.
When he's writing the email and he starts to write and he's like, Annie's on the verge of, and then he's interrupted with a phone call to come get Peter. Like, oof.
Which also makes me wonder, because we get that brief moment in her office of her seeing her mother. After she comes home, she looks through her mother's thing. She finds the letter of her mother apologizing to her. And then she stops right before she goes out the door, and she sees her mother standing in the room, and her mother is smiling at her. And I have to wonder if, like, maybe her mother was using her body in some way, possessing her. I feel like that's also an option in this crazy madhouse of shit.
That is super fucking interesting, because at the end, when we had talked about it before, about when she's sobbing and panicking over Steve being ablaze, and then it passes over her and she goes flat, and then she's on the fucking ceiling. She's doing all of these things. Who is in control of her in that moment? Because it's not Payman. Who is in control of her at that moment? Is it the grandmother? Is it another demon? What is happening?
Because we also get, specifically with Payman, we get the light thing.
Right, that flash.
That really cool. I love that effect so much too.
Aster
so
plays
good
with light and like daytime shots and color in a way that you feel safe, but you know you're not. Like in the way that,
100%.
Like, horror is like, it's not always just like dark and shadow. It's like there are trippy things that can happen with daytime effects, and I love that. Sorry, I interrupted you, but please.
No. But I think that is a moment where maybe that's grandma taking over.
I thought about that too. I was wondering.
I think that's a big possibility, especially because she is being haunted being haunted by her to some degree. We get that little nugget there at the beginning. It never happens again, But these are the things that also make this movie really interesting, because it opens the door to ask these questions and to think a little bit more. I love art should do two very important things. It should make you feel something, and it should make you fucking think. And that movie does that a lot.
A whole lot. Throughout, you do not get a break on those things.
No.
On thinking or feeling. Speaking about this idea of like the demonic possession being this kind of like almost like a mirror reflection of light, or this kind of like radiant thing, and it points you in a specific direction, which is such a choice on Astor's part. There's also a thing that Astor fucking loves in all of his films, which is to have an upside down tracking shot that rights itself, or a right side up tracking shot that goes upside down. I just made a note about it. I just want to hear what your thoughts are on this specific cinematography choice.
So we get it the first time in this film when she wakes Peter up in bed. And it's not the full on. We don't get the full on of it. We get she goes into Peter's room and she shakes him, and then she leans into him and the camera dips sideways with her. Mm-hmm. And I feel like he's using shots like these very intelligently, because that is like that tipping shot is a tipping point in this film. That's when shit like really starts to go sideways. It's so fucking cheesy to like, when you really think about it and you start like putting verbiage to it, you're like, yeah, the movie starts to go really sideways there, and literally it goes a little sideways there with the camera shot, because at that point she wakes up Peter, she wakes up Steve, who before then was like, don't tell your father anything, oh god, he's gonna think we're crazy, Yep. She wakes up Steve and she brings them down into this, and she's like, look at this thing, like, you're gonna think I'm crazy, just trust me. And then we get to see the possession with Charlie, and like we get those like really, really in your face paranormal events, and then we get to her returning to Joan, and that I can't remember what the minute marker was in the movie when she returns to Joan, but everything after that is just a downward fucking spiral. Like you go from, oh god, the movie just went sideways, to, oh god, the movie just flipped the fuck over, shit is going to get insane, hold on to your britches.
It truly, those moments are points of no return in my book. And we see it also in Midsommar when they drive into the village. It's an upside down slow tracking shot. And I do think that is a narrative
that shot
device.
So much.
I know.
Yeah.
It makes me so dizzy. And then I'm like, oh wait, everybody's going to be on drugs and it's going to be great. And we're all going to be dizzy about it. So
it's brilliant though. It's so, I love the way he does it in Hereditary. And I love that you get the two in there with Hereditary. You get two really like in your face ones that it's so literal. Like, it's not even like this, like, he's not even trying to be fucking coy about it. Like, as soon as you start talking it out loud, you're like, fuck you, Astor. That's the most, give your balls a tug, bud. Like, that's the most fucking literal in your face. But it's the simple shit like that people, it's just gonna go right over the average person's head, because it's hidden in plain fucking sight, man. And I love that. Like, yes, please give me more of that.
It's the second you start just unpacking this stuff that you go, oh, that's what that's about.
Yeah.
Oh.
You fucking asshole.
Fuck you for making it so obvious, you dick. I have a couple more questions before I kind of like turn some stuff over. As my chair shifts to the audience, and just some final thoughts. There are a couple more things about Annie I wanted to talk about. We did talk about Tony being kind of, she's the heart of this film, and her monologues, the monologue in the grief group, which we've touched upon. The dinner table monologue where I am your mother, which is what I scream at my cat all the time. The one over tea with Joan, And then this monologue, she has this monologue with Joan where she talks about the paint thinner, about covering the kids in paint thinner and covering herself in paint thinner.
Intense.
And then we see a replication or a flashback or some reference to that incident happening with the sleepwalking. Has she been possessed this whole time? And in that moment, she says, I never wanted to be your mother. I tried to have a miscarriage, this whole thing. Do you believe that Annie is a bad mother? And do you actually believe her when she says that she didn't want to be Peter's mother? Or a mother at all, maybe?
So, first off, I love this nightmare in this movie. I absolutely, oh my God. It's so good. It is just crushing. You get the scene, the shots of that nightmare when she's standing at the end of the bed and she's looking at him and they're going back and forth and back and forth. And then you get to that point where you realize it's a nightmare because it pans back to Peter and he's drenched because he's drenched in the paint thinner, and then it pans back to her and she's just like wide-eyed and talking, and as she's talking you hear this, you don't even see the match, you just hear it and it like glows underneath of her. Like that gave me fucking goosebumps.
Yep.
That fucking moment. Oh, it's so good. And then, yeah, her whole thing that she says in that, she's so raw in that moment. She's so real. And I don't think that she is a bad mother. I really, truly think that she is doing everything she possibly can with the tools she has been given in life, because I don't think she was given a lot of tools in life. You know, you get to hear in that moment in the grief study of how she grew up and what she grew up with. Her father starved himself to death when she was a baby. Her brother hung himself because he said that her mother was putting people inside of him. You know that her mother was very absent in her life, that her mother was extremely secretive, and that her mother was also sick, diagnosed with DID, later became diagnosed with dementia. She speaks that, you know, her and her mom go in and out of points of being able to talk to each other. And then when she has Peter, she's very protective of Peter. She said she totally cuts her mom off with Peter. There is a point where she also talks about how, like, Steve was her rock in this. So you know that there is a very strong base for her and Steve, which I like that you get that. You don't necessarily see it in the movie, but you get it very briefly there when she said, you know, Steve is the reason why I cut my mother off. He had to put his foot down and help me out, essentially.
Yeah.
And you know, she protects her first son. She didn't want to have him. I believe that she didn't want to have kids. With the problem with her mother, with the way she grew up, nothing about that makes me want to have children.
No.
I completely, as a woman who is almost 40 and has no plans of having children because of my own mother, I completely understand this fucking stance of like, no, I don't want children. But then she had a kid.
Yeah.
And she did what she fucking could with the tools that she had, and that was good on her. So no, I don't think she is a bad mom at all, especially there at the end when she's trying so fiercely to keep this family together with what she has and with all the information she's trying to like process. And, you know, Steve is trying to keep it together in his own way. We are getting to watch her physically fight for this family. And
yes.
that's fucking intense. So yeah, no, I think she's actually a really good mom. I just don't think she had all the tools, and that's okay.
Right. Until, yeah, I think, and I think she doesn't realize how bad things are until it's too late.
Yeah.
You know, it's such an element of horror is
yeah.
We as the audience go, oh fuck, it's too late for any of this to change.
But that's what she was conditioned for. That's what Mommy Dearest conditioned her for, you know? That's why Mommy Dearest was so secretive and didn't have her clued in on things, because this was all designed from the jump. And she was just, this was fate. So is it more or less tragic had she had actually known what was going to happen to her?
Yep. Back to the Heracles story.
Yeah.
Oof. Opening my eyes, opening all our eyes. Couple last thoughts about the film. We'll open it up to some audience questions, and then I have a couple other fun questions I'm going to ask you that I didn't prepare you for, but I'm so excited. I thought, and I missed this on my initial watch with this film, but I thought it was really interesting that both Toni Collette and Gabriel Byrne are executive producers on the film. So there's financial stake going into it, artistic stake going into it. Do you think this could be an indication? Granted, it was 2018, which is 8 years ago now. But do you think that this could be an indication of growth of the genre on the whole, since horror is a genre that kind of gets sidelined and isn't treated seriously come awards season and things like that? We're seeing a change in that, but I found it really fascinating that these two incredibly powerful actors who are well known and very revered chose to take on an EP role as well in the film. Yeah. And what your thoughts were on that?
I hope that begins a trend. I hope that more actors see that and find scripts of small directors who need funds and need help, that are worthy of it, that are gonna uplift the horror standard, because horror is really polarizing. Like, there's not a lot of in between with horror. Like,
you either love it or you hate it.
You're either gonna get like this really beautiful, thoughtful, thought-provoking, absolute masterclass that is Hereditary, or you're gonna get horror.
And I love it all.
I
love it all, but
I am down for it all.
But you have to be committed.
yeah, and you have to, in the horror community, the fucking thought-provoking stuff is far few in between. And that's fine. I don't need every single horror movie I watch to be a fucking thinker. I think enough. Yep. It's good. I'm good.
Case in point, as I was in this conversation.
It is really nice seeing bigger names go all in for a director who is really like cutting their teeth in the world of film. I wouldn't even just say horror, just film, because Ari Aster is an artist, even if now he just prefers sitting in a room getting high on his own farts. Whatever, man. That's a bummer. I hope he find it. I hope someone pulls him out of that fucking methane cloud and slaps him around a couple times at some point so he can come back.
That was like the meme that went around years and years ago when Justin Timberlake was doing a bunch of acting and everybody was like, go back to making music.
Yikes. Go sing a song, you dingus.
You dingus. Amazing. Okay, so I have one last note here. It just says closing credits song.
That song is great. Is great. The lyrics are fucking... I love a song that is like like really happy sounding, and then you start going like, wait, what are they saying?
Right.
Wait a minute, what?
Yep.
Fuck, man, that song is fucking great. It's like the first time I ever listened to Pet Sounds by the Beach Boys. One of my like top 10 favorite all-time albums. I fucking love Pet Sounds. It is such, for the most part, this really, really happy album, but then you start paying attention to the lyrics and the things that are being said. And then, 5 minutes go by and you're just ugly crying at your desk by yourself, and you're questioning a lot all of a sudden. That's same vibe with this song. It's just like it's a bop, and then you start listening to it and you're like, yeah, this is really fucked up, man. I don't know why I'm still bobbing my head. Jesus fucking Christ. But it's perfect. I feel like it's really perfect for this film, honestly. Like, go read the song, nerds, if you like the movie and you haven't. God, it's so good.
Yep. Yeah,
I was really glad that you pointed that out.
It hit me like a freight train, because I was like, oh, film's done. I was like, oh no, we have to talk about this. I think about it with I remember my tech professor in college showed us the torture scene from Reservoir Dogs, where he's dancing to Steeler's Wheel and he's just like cutting off a cop's ear, and he was like, this is a strange juxtaposition. This is something you can do with sound. And I've never forgotten it. And when people use it in things like horror and something like this, it's like, oh wow.
Yeah, I love when people play with the juxtaposition of things. That always fucking gets me. If it's done and it's done well, it's like so iconic. We recently in the sub lounge watched Clockwork Orange, which is probably my favorite Kubrick movie, if I'm really thinking about it.
That's fair.
Oh, there she is.
She's just on a tear right now.
She fucking is, man. The whole scene with Alex, and he's singing in the rain and just wailing on those people and other things that we won't get into, but fucking yes. I love a really well done juxtaposition of themes.
I do too. I very much enjoy that.
Please make me cry and bop simultaneously. It's confusing.
It is confusing. I also think, to me, something like that speaks to the audiences in, like, sometimes we say in theater, like being in on the joke. Like something like that, to me, allows people in on the joke. Yeah, for sure. That it's like it's that acknowledgement of like, I'm aware you watch this.
Yep. I fucking see you, motherfucker.
I see you, motherfucker.
How you doing,
buddy? We have some questions from the audience. Y'all can keep rolling them in while we ask them.
I love this.
First up, from Codus Geek. What do you think about the use of Dominion Payman in the movie? Specifically Payman.
I love it. It's great. He's fucking Satan's most loyal soldier. If you're gonna fucking call a demon from the Goetia, like, you're probably gonna want to call Payman, man. He's super fucking powerful. Like, if you are a powerful magician that can call upon Payman in specific, like I said earlier, he will promise you the secrets of science and the mind. He can resurrect. He can tell. He knows all things past and future. Hold on, we're recalling more things. He knows where to find treasure, which is just a really weird random fact. But I love that that's in there. Like, he knows how to find treasure. He's like a human beat bop on the fucking beach. You old beat bop, You old beat bop. And then Ari Aster kind of added some things to him. I think if you actually like pause on some of the text, when she's reading about Payman, it talks about Payman being like a bit of a trickster demon entity. That's not from the Goetia. That's not Payman. Payman's actually very, very serious and extremely devoted and loyal. And he controls a lot of fucking dead people. 25 legions. You guys do the math. I fucking hate math. Right. So
I'm school for math. So
I like science and English. Fuck you,
And
math.
yeah, I did great on my ACTs up until I had to do math. Anyway, next question from Varl B. Gem. Hello, Varl, one of our lovely mods here at Folk and Myth. How was the movie received beyond the horror crowd? Like, so for the non-horror people, and do you think that I think if I'm interpreting this question correctly, Varl, did it transcend in your opinions? Do you think it transcends the genre and is more palatable maybe for a larger scope of audience, or is something that is piquing the larger demographics?
Okay, no. And this is why. This is why I think that. If he would have played it a little bit safer with the visuals, it would have been. But he didn't, because he's a good boy and he knows how to make fucking scary ass horror. So he went balls deep with those 2 decapitation scenes, and oh boy. So no, I don't. I think in theory it could, because it is such a thought-provoking, just absolutely stunning film. But he chose to go all in and do some really fucking horrifying things in that movie, and especially that last 30 minutes
Is a whole fucking thing.
Holy shit.
I even think the shot of Peter beating himself up at school and he comes back up, and I can tell they used lash glue to like glue his lid to his eye and the hand. I'm like, even that was probably pretty intolerable for non-horror crowds.
I think he actually hurt himself in that scene.
No, the actor did.
Yeah, if Jenga's still in here, Jenga probably knows that weird tidbit, because he's really good with like weird movie trivia shit.
Like Bleak is a fucking Rolodex of information. Anytime we watch a film, he's like, this director also did this and this actor did, and I was like, damn, that is an amazing skill that I don't have.
Yeah, okay, Jenga. Yeah, he actually broke his nose in that scene.
Holy shit.
Fucking dedication from Peter.
Damn. Peter, he broke his nose. Oh my god.
I will say, going back to Payman really quick, Kate, I fucking warned you I can talk about this movie all goddamn.
No, I'm not mad. I am not mad. It's the cat is screaming.
I'm like, how much time we've been in here?
No. This is me wondering what's happening with the cat.
I have to go back to Payman for a minute, because we didn't really talk about we talked about some of the symbology with like the triangles and his usage and all of that, which was really cool, and harkening back to like old alchemical stuff and occultism. But the sigil of the 3 figures is actually Payman's sigil from the Goetia. But he changed it the slightest, and I'm not mad about it, because in the actual sigil it's 4 figures.
Oh, okay.
But he changed it to 3 because it's supposed to represent Nana, Tony, Annie, and Charlie.
Yeah.
And I fucking love that he did that. I love that he included that. I love that you get that one shot of it being on the actual pole that fucking decapitates Homegirl. So then you're like, oh yeah, well, this is obviously planned. This was supposed to happen.
Yep.
That shit was really fucking cool. And you get to see Charlie making all the little King Payman statues.
Yeah.
So if you pay attention through the movie, that's like all she's making the whole time. It's all the same statue over and over again.
There's a Bleak that art piece the piece of art that you created.
It is art.
That Bleak did. Not this shot, yes.
Yeah.
This is her desk.
Yeah.
But also the shot at Jones that we had seen that you had put up previously, that with the white tablecloth, you can see one of Charlie's little statues right there on the right. That's the one that she was working on, where she
in the class. Yeah.
That's
yes.
On this watch through again, I was like, oh fuck. Okay. Great. Cool.
I wish we would have gotten to maybe see where the big Payman came from in the in the treehouse.
That final
because
shot.
it's basically my only thing that I can think is that maybe Charlie had to have seen this statue.
Right. Yes.
Because
like,
we
was
know
it
that
there?
she spent a lot of time with grandma. I can only imagine that this statue was possibly in obviously it wasn't
I know that this is Charlie's head on top of it at the end.
right.
But what
Yeah.
if this statue in and of itself without Charlie's head on it, incomplete, was already in the treehouse? Because we don't get a full shot of the whole treehouse.
We don't ever get a full shot. My other thought was maybe this was at like grandma's like cult club meetings. That maybe Joan had this and maybe Charlie had seen this before because of that, and that's like Charlie continually making all of these little statues in a replica of this.
Yeah.
But sorry, mini tangent. I also have to say that I really love the leather crown.
Which it's leather, but to me also read as human skin.
A little bit, yeah.
It was very skin-like, whatever it was.
Yeah. As a former leather worker, I can tell you that's probably like 7 or 9 ounce cowhide that's made of.
Wow.
I like the leather crown was really fucking cool. Because you expect it's payment, so payment brings like fortune and wealth, and you would expect it to be gold, but the fact that it was leather, I was like, that's hot. Thanks for that.
Thank you, Daddy Payment.
Varl had another question. Any other movies by Astor we might have heard of? So you would have heard of Midsommar, which came out shortly after. Beau is Afraid and Eddington. And Creep does not like Beau is Afraid. I haven't seen it. Eddington.
You want to watch a movie about mommy issues and anxiety?
No. I have already those things.
I feel okay. So maybe I have to say this about Beau is Afraid because I talk a lot of shit about my community has heard me talk plenty of shit about this movie in the past. It's a tangent I go on occasionally. That movie drives me insane because I really do feel like they were like, oh, take his leash off, let him run around the yard for a little bit. Like that's what they did, and then he made that, and we're like, oh, good fucking god, because the movie is like. I think it's 3 hours if I'm remembering correctly. It's a 3-hour fucking movie.
That's true.
It's too fucking long. Like very few movies can pull that off and not be fucking annoying already. But I'll say that it's intentional what he's doing in the movie, and it's overkill. Like I get it, buddy. You want us to feel paranoia and anxiety because that is what the theme of the movie is. It is paranoia and anxiety. It's a guy who's an agoraphobe who's like can't
title.
Exactly. And it's all stemming from mommy issues, so you get a lot of weird mommy issues stuff on top of that. But it was just he went too deep into the artsy fartsy. There is a limit. I think that Hereditary and Midsommar find a really beautiful balance, and Beau is Afraid he just jumped off the goddamn cliff. He made Tetsuo Iron Man for people who have anxiety. Even Tetsuo knows not to be a 3 fucking hour long movie. If you're gonna do that, do it with some goddamn class and only torture me for an hour and a half, you fucking asshole.
You know, have some thought, have some tact.
And yes, I think someone said, Torben said that they tripled his previous budgets. Like he got so much money to do that movie, and it brought in like I don't even think it brought in half of what they gave him to make it.
That is a rough flop. That is a rough flop after 2 very successful films.
Yeah, I think Eddington flopped too, if I remember.
Eddington was very mixed. I haven't seen it. I just saw Jenga's question.
I haven't seen
it. What will it take for you two to get around to seeing Eddington? It's more relevant and harrowing than it was when it came out. Ooh, woof. I would watch it. I like I was saying before about Astor, like he did go to film school in New Mexico, which is where I'm from. And he created this fictional New Mexico town, Eddington, which I believe is supposed to be like a Farmington, New Mexico, which is in the Four Corners area near Colorado, Utah, Arizona borders. So I would be interested in it from that perspective, because I do know that there is a lot of that feeling of small New Mexico towns, which I'm very familiar with in the film, and I would like to see it kind of for that. Even if that's my only curiosity hook into it. Welcome in, Ghoul. Hello.
Hey, what's up, Ghoul? I plan to watch it. It's just not high on my list right now of give a fucks because of Bo. Yeah. And knowing that it's not a horror, and knowing that plenty of people have fucking complained about it already, and I think it's another long ass fucking movie. Yeah. Stop doing that, Astor. God. Yikes. It's on the list. It's just not high on the list.
Just not quite high on the list.
Yeah.
Question from Torben. How did you react to, or what was your opinion of, the film's final scene discussing the cultists and more prominently the final state of Annie, Ellen, and the effigy of Payman using Charlie, etc.? Would you pull up that treehouse for us, Bleak Season?
Give us the treehouse, producer.
We are only putting up the ones that we know are not going to cause us problems on this channel, because it's not graphic, because that final scene is so graphic.
You don't say.
What? Yeah. So, what are your thoughts? How did you react? What was your opinion when Peter's little head with that busted up nose pops up and sees all these naked people, and his mother's decapitated head, his grandmother's corpse without a head, and Charlie's rotted ass face that's been chewed up by fire ants on this thing, and Joan being like, "It's okay. It's okay, buddies."
Oh God.
What a fucking scene.
It's so good. And the music, best music in the whole movie, is happening during this point of the film.
The bells. Fuck.
I love that song. I love that fucking track. It's so goddamn good. And you get it, like, right, he falls, he dies for a minute.
You see that little black shadow of his soul leave his body, and the little white
good
going in.
Yes, that exchange, and then he comes to, and like he looks into the woods and he sees the dead people. They're clearly dead people, which I loved. I loved the like portrayal of the dead in this. They had that ashen skin. Like, you didn't get like there was no like zombie or rotting corpse. You got these like strange ashen skinned people, almost just very interesting. I love that take on that. It's giving me very like, we just came back from the fires of hell, man.
Check it out sometime.
We're a little ashy, bro. I
love that.
Which was really cool. And then the music starts, and he goes up into the treehouse, and I love how unfazed. He's not phased. Like, he's just kind of like, oh yeah. Like, looking around, like he looks to the first person, and as he gets up, and his head kind of crusts, and then he stands up and he looks down, and he's looking at his fucking decapitated mom and Nana on the ground. Yep. And Nana's like, full rigor mortis, liver mortis, like
rigor mortis, girl, rigor mortis.
It's fucking just gnarly. Like, her flesh is black at this point. She's very dead.
She's very dead. Very dead.
And I love that.
Jenga's comment, the composer wanted to create a sunrise in hell soundscape.
Nailed it.
I just love that conceptually. Thank you for that, Jenga.
Thanks, Jenga. Just fucking nailed it. And I love we get Joan, we get the guardian, the guide of the whole movie. Fucking Puppet Master Joan.
Yep.
Is like, hi honey, don't look at that. Okay. Actually, you're King Payman, And I
come too.
can't wait for you to tell me all your secrets and then give me really good familiars, which I love that line.
Yes, and
bring us good familiars. I love that. That is from the text originally, like so fucking good. It's just just sometimes you hear like a couple words strung together and it like
you're like, yes,
gives you a little shiver.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, give me good familiars, dog. What those familiars tongue do though?
Oh no.
Little familiar rim jabbies.
I know we're on here.
Oh
no. I just had another good question that kind of goes into what we were just talking about with that final scene. Leek, don't threaten to end the stream. We're doing great.
Don't threaten me when I got a mouthful of coffee, bud.
Don't do it. Scully is having a conniption fit out there.
Pissed.
But Codis asked, what do you think happens to the soul of the human while the body is possessed? I would like to think that they just kind of go to sleep for a little bit. Just kind of go dormant. Yeah, like they don't leave the body. Yeah. Because we see that actually happen in this film. To fully possess the body, the previous soul has to depart, and we saw that at the end with Peter. Yeah. So in that instance, if we don't see that happening, we don't see the soul depart, then what happens? I feel like they just they go. It's a dormancy kind of thing going on, which with like the correlation that they give with DID, for example, when a person with DID switches between personalities, a lot of times those people describe that as the other personalities are like sleeping or going dormant. Right. And then there's the main personality that comes forward. So I think we see that represented on a more paranormal scale in this, which is cool. Yeah. But yeah, that would be my thought. I would agree with you on that. I think that is a sound scientific conclusion, and we are scientists. I'm a scientist. I'm a doctor. Don't worry about it. I'm just not a mathematician. That's all. Don't ask me to do math. Taxes, but I can remove your liver. Yeah. Small feet. Oh. Anyway. Torben has a question. Do you think it's fair to say that large amounts of horror made today are just, quote, follow the formula, assembly line money grabs, making the genre much harder to navigate in terms of finding gems like Hereditary that can invoke real mental and chemical reactions in us? Yes and no. I mean, you have like Hollywood like blockbuster stuff that you're always gonna have like pumping out, the 7th, 8th Scream fucking sequel or whatever the fuck cash cow they've been milking into eternity. My biggest problem with the horror genre today is the third act fumble, man. That has been a continuing thing with horror films. I can't remember his name, the dude who did Long Legs. Osgood Perkins. Yeah, him, that fucking dude. He's got that problem pretty bad where like movies up to a certain point fucking great, like Long Legs, for example. Such a cool movie, so fucking interesting, and then the third act comes along and you're like, doll in an attic, what's happening? Yeah, that part. When did this get so fucking stupid? No, that part, it just fell apart. Especially like, I love Blackcoat's Daughter. That is excellent. That's the only good film I feel like he's done at this point. I like, it's rough to see the third act fumble, and I fully agree. I think it just, you really have to know what you like and what you don't like, And I think pursuing and getting curious about those things. Also, like, different voices in the genre. I'm a huge fan of, like, there are newer artists coming up in the genre, and I think it's worth it to look into what they are doing, because indies are darlings for a reason, you know?
Yeah. And I think so we have the third act problem right now, which really sucks, but we also have some really, really influential pioneers in horror again, which we haven't had
Yes.
in like 2 decades at this point. Like, I think the 80s, beginning mid 90s was like the end of the heyday of fucking horror.
I hate to say this, that was like 3 decades.
Did you just call me old, bitch?
Both old, bitch.
But yeah, so like we've had this gap. We've had 3 decades of a gap. Where they're really like, you might get like a little gem here and there that's kind of fun, but nothing like intensely thought-provoking. There's some cool stuff. A lot of the really cool stuff is all foreign horror, honestly, through those decades. And then now we have Eggers and Aster, and like these people who are kind of paving a new way for horror. So, you know, now what's the last really good one? Weapons. Did you saw Weapons?
I did.
Fuck. Great. Excellent.
Great
Love that movie so much. So fucking cool. Like, that film I don't think would have happened if it weren't for people like Eggers and Aster paving the fucking way for thought-provoking, really like cinematic, beautiful horror to come back. Because, you know, back in the day we had like the Italian masters of Argento. You want to watch some really beautiful horror. Not a lot going on upstairs in terms of story. That's okay. You want to watch something beautiful, go watch fucking Argento. Some of the most beautiful horror I've ever seen. But now, you know, we have these directors coming in. They're like, let's make something beautiful, but let's make it thoughtful too. And that's really fucking cool. And I think in the coming decade, we are going to see more and more and more of that, because movies like Hereditary did so fucking well, and they're still being talked about, and people are still jorking their peanuts to it. And, you know, then you get like Nosferatu that came out, was that last Christmas? Like, Jesus, Mary, that's the first movie to get me out of my house into a theater in years.
Wow.
In years. And especially on fucking Christmas. I wear my pajamas. I be Donald Ducking it in my house on fucking Christmas. You ain't getting me out.
No pain.
But I went out for fucking Nosferatu.
Hey.
So like, I think a lot of doors are getting opened in the world of horror right now, and it's really, really exciting for people like us who just eat this shit up.
Breakfast, lunch, and dinner, baby. I'm gonna jump into there was a question from Varl that actually leads us into like the final segment of our show, which I'm calling the Inside the Actor's Studio questions.
Ooh, razzle dazzle me, mommy.
Milking the razzle and dazzle, baby. And I'll do it like this, like James Lipton. What is your favorite horror? What is your favorite horror trope? Like, do you have a favorite thing that you're like, if this is happening, I'm in?
Man. I don't know if I really have a favorite trope.
Or a favorite genre?
I think I have a few favorite genres, and Hereditary takes them all and puts them in one movie, and then I'm just like, because I'm a big possession fan, witchcraft, occult, like those are all my favorite genres, 100%. But in terms of tropes, that's a little harder. I like the classic, like something horrible happens and like the gates of hell open kind of stuff. That's always fun.
You and I have similar tastes. That's very much my favorite kind of world.
Yep. You think about that and you're just as well. This is where we get Bleak's channel banned.
Yeah, this is
It's
where we
fine.
get banned again.
Don't pay attention, Dad. We're not doing anything. Being good.
I'll get through my Inside the Actors Studio questions, and we had like 2 more audience questions that I wanted to be answered. So, what is your least favorite horror trope or horror subgenre?
Oh, fuck. Home invasion.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah, a lot of times it falls really flat for me. I can literally think right now of 3 home invasion movies that I actually like, and they're probably the only 3. Funny Games.
Okay.
Specifically the American one, though the Finnish original film is really good. I loved it's one of those weird, rare things where America did a remake and kind of did it better, honestly.
Wow. That never happened.
Right? So that You're Next, which is like home invasion, Final Girl simultaneously.
From 2011?
Maybe
with the animal faces.
Yes.
The animal masks.
Yes.
Fuck, have I seen this?
If you haven't, you need to watch it, Kato. You will be in love with it. It's got a lot of dark humor in it, and you definitely get some like powerful Final Girl shit in it. It's so good. And then Jenga already knows, because I have talked about this before, because I rant a lot. Them, which is a French film from the early 2000s, which is just like has a really nice twist in the end. That the first time I saw that, I went, "Are you fucking shitting my dick right now?
Are you shitting on my dick right now? Are you shitting on my dick?"
But yeah, home invasion is normally like, that's pretty low on my fucking list. Like that movie Strangers, get it the fuck away from me. Like all that shit, it tends to be a little too predictable, and not in a way that I want things to be predictable.
Right.
Because I don't mind a trope. Tropes are tropes for a reason. I will die on that hill. I will say that forever. Like,
they work for a reason.
They work for a fucking reason. I love a good fucking trope. I am totally okay with it. Just, do it fucking well. Give it goddamn justice. Don't put me to fucking sleep.
Yeah. For me, the home invasion film, I did like Hush.
That one was all right.
I liked that one.
Yeah. That wasn't bad.
I would also argue that Speak No Evil, the Scandinavian one, not the US remake, the Scandinavian one, has elements of home invasion. Like it has this kind of like, we're taking over your life now, that makes me feel really insane. And everybody was like, I don't understand, why didn't they just fucking leave? And I was like, you don't understand Scandinavian culture. Scandinavian culture would never leave. They'd be like, no. I don't want to be rude. It's a very weird thing. Oh my god, my dad's family, it's always just like, can you guys just talk or no? Okay. What would your role be in a horror film? Would you be the villain? Would you be the final girl? Would you be what would your stock archetype be?
What do you think I would be?
I don't know. I just want to know what you think you would be.
I would be a final girl, 100%.
Yeah,
100%. I have a lot of surprising bits of knowledge that I like to think I'm somewhat unassuming, and then you get stuck in a room with me and you're like, wait, what's going on? Yeah, I'm final girl material, 100%. I would surprise you.
Yeah, I would fully agree with that. I am buying what you are selling. What is your favorite word?
My favorite word?
Yeah.
Just period? My favorite word?
Yeah. Do you have a favorite word?
Yeah, cunt.
Well, I was going to ask, what's your favorite curse word?
Fuck, I say it a lot. I don't consider cunt a curse word. I don't know. Is that...
No.
Am I broken?
This is my Inside the Actors Studio.
I love these.
That was my favorite thing that James Lipton used to do, where he'd go, what is your favorite word? What is your favorite curse word? I would ask you what what your least favorite curse word is, but that's stupid. We're just
Yeah,
we leave
that's
it
fair.
at favorites, right?
Yeah.
Like that's
Yeah.
very silly. I saw Miko chiming in saying that Creep definitely pulls the Jamie Lee Curtis in a horror movie. I love that. Miko said Creep, and I thought of the film Creep, and I was like, is that kind of a home invasion? Great film.
It's a great film. I don't know if it's a home invasion.
More psychological.
Yeah.
One more question from Torben before we wrap up for the evening. Have there been any horror villains, or I'll add in horror characters that have influenced your TTRPG character portrayals?
I'm sure there have. Honestly, can I think of them off the top of my head immediately? I mean, no, I can't think of anything off the top of my head right away.
It's okay if you can't.
I will say
so.
a lot. Well, yeah. I was definitely inspired with one of my last vampire characters, the homie with the balaclava, which I can't believe I'm forgetting. Baby girl, thank you. I forgot her name for a minute. That's so rude of me. She definitely had some Severin vibes from Near Dark.
Cool.
But if you spun him on his head and made him an absolute feminist, which I thought was a really funny thing to do with that character because of who that character was. And then Elise was definitely heavily inspired by Drusilla from Buffy.
Yes. Yeah.
Very fucking heavily inspired by Drusilla. I actually, before the first game that I ever did with Elise, I went and I found like a collection of all the Drusilla clips ever in Buffy and just sat and watched it through.
Wow. God, the dedication to character. I love that.
But yeah.
Amazing. What would you like to promote? What would you like to plug?
I almost said something horribly inappropriate.
Say it. Say it.
I'm a nice girl.
I'm a nice final girl who's never ever had sex or drugs or alcohol
No,
or done
virgin.
anything naughty or bling,
Yep.
bling, bling, bling.
Fucking angel, actually. Yeah, I mean, I will be, what's today? It's Friday. I'll be back on my channel on Sunday night, 9 p.m. Eastern, playing some not playing anything. I'm painting. I don't know.
Playing some nothing. Playing some with my little mini guys.
Yep, playing Make My Minis Kiss. That's what I'll be playing.
Do it for bones. Do it for bones.
Do it for the plot. I love making them kiss. I don't paint fucking beefcakes to make them just stand around and stare at their own dicks. They gotta kiss. It's really important to me, the kissing part.
Yeah, that's my favorite part.
But yeah, that's what I'm doing. You can, you guys can find me on my channel pretty often. I'm over there a lot. 9 p.m. Eastern is my usual start time, and you can find me everywhere as DarlingCreepshow. I feel like a lot of you know who I am.
Yeah,
at
a lot
this
of our
point.
friends are in the chat. They just wanted to hear us talk about movies.
Just a bunch of yapping, dude.
I love yapping. I love yapping with you specifically. So, you know,
I
2
love
hours of
yapping
with best pal. Love it.
with you and about a movie that I like. I'm not done yapping about this movie, but we have to end at some point.
We
you know,
do.
like we gotta
could
stop
keep going,
somewhere.
but I was like, the 2-hour mark is a safe zone. Great, amazing. I will plug my personal thing. Creep and I will be back here on Folk and Myth on Monday, March 30th for the continuation of Cleave. Our vampires are gonna, like the minis, are gonna kiss probably at some point. Again, make them kiss like this. So yeah, Blink is gonna have to start peeing in a cup if you go too much longer. Probably. Are you okay? Yes. So that's where I will be next. Also, thank you all for being here. Creep, thank you so much for being here for the first episode.
Thanks for inviting me. I've been so excited about this.
Yeah, me too.
Keeping the movie secret really hard, but I did it, buddy. It's so fucking excited. I had so much fun doing this. Yeah, thanks for having me. Thanks for allowing me to be your first.
Thank you for doing this, because I had mentioned to Creep that I really wanted to get into the streaming world, and I was like, I don't know what to do. And Creep was like, well, you like yapping about horror. Why don't you yap about some horror? And I was like, great. Yes. Will you please be my first guest?
Do what you know, right?
Yeah. So thank you for pushing me out the nest and getting me into hosting my own little show here. A huge thank you. I'll say thank you to Varl, and I know Raven's not in the chat right now, but we love our mods. Thank you to our mods. Thank you to the Folk and Myth producers. Thank you to Miko. A very special thanks to Bleak Season for all of his efforts. Bleak did all of the art, all of the overlay. He helped design this whole layout for the Celluloid Crypt. He's been doing all the promo. He's been doing all the producing, and he has been very tolerant of my Bleak, pull up this image that I have been doing all night.
Is he unfired?
He's unfired, but I think he might be on fire, much like Steve now, because of how long I've had to make him sit in his own chair.
We did a Steve on him. Got him, boys.
Got him, boys. But special thanks to him for also pushing me to do a little bit of the streaming here. We are going to be continuing the Celluloid Crypt moving forward. Our next guest is going to be Laura Tutu. I'm very excited to have them on. It'll be sometime in March. We've got to figure out kind of what we're going to be doing, but I think we're probably going to do once a month or maybe twice a month. We're going to have lovely people like the Little Bones is going to come on at some point. Dungeon Mr. Ty is going to be in here at some point. Bleak himself is going to make an appearance, and it'll be funny because he'll have to produce and yap with me at the same time. But yeah. I'm very excited for what this is going to turn into. So thank you again, Creep. I have a little outro I'm supposed to say. Next week, Bleak begins a 3-part Shadowrun game on Mondays at 8 p.m. Eastern time. So tune in for that. And Cult continues on Fridays at 9 p.m. Eastern. This next week is a solo episode with none other than DarlingCreepshow. What? And the regular series will continue on Fridays following that, so keep your eyes peeled for when we will be going through that. We are going to raid Crit Hit Chronicles, our friends over there. So when you get into their chat, say hello, say where you're coming from, tell them what you've been watching, and stick around and show them some love. And thank you all so much. Keep it creepy, keep it spooky, keep it classy, keep it trashy. That's all. That's all from the Celluloid Crypt, and this is when the doors close.